Well, this is getting attention, so I figured why not go out there and make a video about this. I know I'm connecting the dots a little prematurely here, but when it comes to the New Jersey Devils, this is a conversation that casts such a wide net that I do think it is somewhat appropriate to make a video in the way that we're making it today. So, we're going over onto what Tom Fitzgerald, New Jersey Devils GM, said during his postseason press conference the other day, and our main source for the quotes will be on NHL.com because they published a piece about this yesterday. So, without further ado, this is the piece in question. The Devils could trade their first-round pick and add an impact player, the GM says. Now, the little sub-headline here is kind of strangely worded. Goalie among positions New Jersey targeting, Ruff expected to remain coach. Come on, use some extra words here, Wes Crosby. That is so difficult to read out loud, although it does make sense in print. But either way, we're talking about what Tom Fitzgerald said about their first-round pick in the 2022 NHL Entry Draft. New Jersey, 27, 46, and 9, finished 7th in the Metro, 37 points behind the Capitals for the second wildcard into the Stanley Cup Playoffs for the Eastern Conference. Looking to take a step towards becoming a playoff team, trading the draft pick could allow the Devils to acquire an established player to complement a core of young forwards, Fitzgerald said. I said this 2 drafts ago in 2020 when we had 3 first-round picks. I'm open to whatever can help the team improve, Fitzgerald said Thursday. If that is using a pick like that, wherever it may be, to help bring in a player that we know and feel will impact the results that we are looking for, absolutely. My job is to improve our hockey club through all the assets that we have, Fitzgerald said. And so, if we go over onto Tankathon.com and we highlight what it is the New Jersey Devils have as their lottery odds, they've got a pretty healthy standing in the list right here. 63 points, so they've got an 8.5% chance at getting first overall. They ended off the season with a 6-game losing streak. They were 2-5-3 in their last 10, and they are currently in the 5th best spot to getting that top pick. The New Jersey Devils can draft 1st or 2nd if they win one of the 2 lotteries. They can draft 5th, 6th, or 7th if any of the other teams win the lotteries, depending on if they're above or below New Jersey in the standings. Pretty much, though, let's just guarantee New Jersey in that range of a top 7 pick with a higher likelihood of them going 5th or 6th overall. So with that in mind, you think about what Tom Fitzgerald is saying. Okay, we've got a top 6 pick right here. Let's just say, for the sake of making it simple, top 6 pick. And the Devils are in a position where Tom Fitzgerald is saying, hey, we can trade the pick, We can improve the team now, with a trade involving this top 6 pick for a roster player coming in here to improve our younger core and help us out. Which is why this article has been shared a lot throughout other NHL fan bases and their community posts like subreddits and forums and all that. People are saying, hey, look, the Devils are willing to shop that 5th overall pick. The Devils are looking to improve their roster. What could we go out there and offer them to get this 5th overall pick? And Vancouver fans have not been declining that opportunity to discuss a potential trade. The biggest Canucks trade chip the team has right now is JT Miller. And as a result, there have been Canucks fans over the past few days. Okay, no, not few days. It's been a day, but this is a conversation that has proceeded that I've seen as to whether or not the Canucks should, would, or could trade Miller to New Jersey for what would be a 5th or a 6th overall pick at the 2022 NHL Entry Draft. Now, this is a tough conversation because when you talk about the New Jersey Devils and you talk about the assets they have, they've got a lot of other things that I think you could go out there and want if you were a Vancouver Canucks fan too. In particular, the Devils have a pretty stacked left-handed defenseman core when it comes to their prospects, and one of the guys on their prospect system is a player that I think a lot of Canucks fans would think about more than a 5th or a 6th overall pick. Doesn't take a genius to fill in the blanks, but it's Luke Hughes. There are a lot of Canucks fans that I saw when talking about Miller and that 5th overall pick that were saying, okay, no, I kind of want Hughes more because firstly, he's really good. Secondly, he's Quinn's brother. Thirdly, he was a 4th overall pick in 2021, so we could say that that's kind of better than a 5th or a 6th overall pick this year. It depends on how you view the draft as a whole. But that's a conversation for another day. It's not even the main conversation we're having here. When it comes to the 5th or 6th overall pick for Miller, though, I honestly do think that the idea is pretty intriguing, especially considering what the Canucks could get in that certain range of players. You talk about the top forwards available in the draft: Wright, Slavkovsky, Matthew Savoie, Lambert, Cooley, etc. There are a lot of players that could be good long-term forwards on the Canucks. However, there are other players that could go in the top of the draft too, especially in this range, on defense. Simon Nemec is a guy that I think the Canucks could have some pretty interesting conversations about if they want to talk about their long-term right side defense, because Nemec is probably one of the better right-handed defensemen we have seen in these drafts. Same with David Jiricek, two guys at the top of this crop of players that are right-handed defensemen that have long-term top 4 upside. You could even debate with Jiricek. He's got top 2 upside. And they're supposed to go around this range of the draft. I mean, Jiricek has his fans. Elite Prospects has him ranked 2nd overall. But if you're drafting 5th or 6th, it's a very high likelihood that you're going to get somebody of significant value in that position. And so if Miller is the guy going for that opportunity, is that a trade that you make? Do you say, okay, Miller for a 5th overall pick, that's a good deal? Or do you say, okay, screw it, I kind of want to get a bit more. Let's trade Miller to another team that's in the playoff contender position or whatever for a 1st-round pick next year that might be in the teens, plus a prospect, plus another roster player that can come in here and make an immediate impact too. Because as we highlighted a few videos ago, Jim Rutherford is not backing down in his conversations about Miller being traded. He's making it very clear, hey, if we can't re-sign the guy to an appropriate amount, we're going to have to make a non-emotional decision to trade him. And as we also highlighted from Frank Saravelli in his piece, teams are going to be the H word for acquiring Miller because he's a 99-point player who's making $5.25 million a season next year. That is a bargain. That is a steal. Teams will overpay for that. It's just, is New Jersey the team to go out there and do it? Is that even an overpayment? 5th overall for Miller? Honestly, I think that's kind of lacking for what Miller provides. Like, in isolation, of course, Miller for a 5th overall pick is not bad. Anybody for a 5th overall pick is not bad. It's just the potential and what you could see in other assets. Is it Jiricek or is it Braden Schneider, another later first and another roster player? Like, what's more valuable to you long term? If David Jiricek is a guy that becomes as good as he could be, then hey, maybe that is the better move long term. But if the Vancouver Canucks get themselves a 2nd first-round pick in this year's entry draft, and it's a pretty high one too, I honestly will just be so over the moon ecstatic because it's been so gosh darn long since the Canucks have had multiple firsts in a year of a draft. 2013, you had Horvat and Carrick. 2014, because of the Kessler trade, you had Virtanen and McCann. Guess who went after Virtanen and McCann? You had Nikolai Ehlers, William Nylander, David Pastrnak. Like, man, they blew it in that year, aside from Demko, of course, going in the 2nd round. But 2015, only one guy. You had Besser. 2016, one guy, O'Leary. 2017, one guy, Patterson. 2018, one guy, Hughes. 2019, one guy, Podkolzin. 2020, no guys. So, yeah, 2021, no guys either. Thank you, Jim, right? And now you have an opportunity to use your, 15th overall pick, which is where the Canucks are going to be with their own draft pick. It's not a bad position, but it's not a great one either. It's still going to be pretty okay, though. And then you have an opportunity to get a 2nd pick, which could be seen as a top 5 pick if New Jersey is willing to bite on a JT Miller because the GM said, yeah, we need to get players that can improve our team right now. Maybe I'm being kind of short-sighted by only making this video from the Vancouver point of view and not even acknowledging what the Devils could do with a JT Miller, but, I mean, he is a 99-point player. I'm gonna go out there and start labeling him that now every time we talk about this guy for the rest of his gosh darn career post-retirement and when I inevitably pass too, maybe in a few years, whatever, but like, yeah, Miller's a 99-point player in the National Hockey League, and I love saying that, so good on him for scoring, good on him for boosting his trade value, and good on him for making the Vancouver Canucks put themselves in a pretty good position. Like, if you re-sign Miller, that's a good player coming back. And you know that Jim Rutherford and Alvin are not going to sign him to a BS contract that's going to be long-term too expensive, right? If he does re-sign in Vancouver, it's going to be for a solid amount of money. If he does not re-sign in Vancouver, it means the Canucks got themselves a haul. Does that haul include a 5th overall pick from the New Jersey Devils? I'm not really too sure. You can let me know in the comments all your thoughts about that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.